Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Genevieve Designs. Today's video, I'm going to show you what I ended up doing for the binding strips, and I'm also going to show you some ideas to use a lot of the leftover pieces from this album. I have one more video that I'm going to record, and it's going to be the final flip through, so then I'll show you all the final details that I did to the album that, you know, they're pretty straightforward. They're just embellishing pages with simple things. It's not that big a deal, right? So it's like, I'm just going to show you all of that during the final flip through. And I like to do a final flip through so that if you wanted to see the final product before you started, then you could watch that video first. Okay. But I have a ton of ideas for all the leftover bits and pieces, and so I thought we would do some of that together today. This is the mini album mashup, album 2, and we are using the Christmas Spectacular, which is a printable paper collection by Katie Pertiet. And there is links in the description box or the show more or the more section for her printable papers. There's a link to my templates and Etsy shop, and everything that I used in this album, there is like a little collections link down there, so you can check that out. Sorry, I still have stuff going on. And there's timestamps down below as well, so if you want to skip around. I also have a link to the Amazon list for this project, so everything that I use as best I can, I try to link in there so you can check it out, price compare, all the things. It is affiliate links, so if you go through that link, I do get a small commission if you purchase through there. You don't have to actually purchase the exact item that I link, but if you do purchase, once you click that link, then I do get a tiny little bit kickback. So yeah. Okay, so we don't need anything from the templates today. So what I'm going to show you first is the binding strips. So I chose to do the, oh, excuse me, you guys, I apologize. I'm still drinking coffee and everything. Okay. So I chose to do the stripes, the candy cane stripes, the red and the green alternating. And I will tell you, I used all scraps, so all leftover pieces from the page setup. So I just cut them down, and I'll tell you in just a second. So there's the green and white, there's the red and white, there's the green and white, there's the red and white. That's the only one that kind of didn't work out perfectly fine, but that's okay. I'm totally fine with that. I did just glue them down, and it makes it a little stiffer when you glue them down versus if you just taped the edges. It might give you a little bit more wiggle room. The pages might not be as stiff. I don't know if you can tell that it's a little bit more stiff, which maybe you want that, maybe you like that. Either way, it's up to you. So the front and back pieces, so what I did was I took my scraps and I cut this down to a 1-inch strip. I cut it down to the size of the binding. I scored it in half, and then I inked it up and just glued it down. So the ones in the middle, these strips, this is a 1.5-inch strip that I cut it down to the size of the binding. I scored it at 1/2 inch, scored it at inch, inked it up, glued it down. So that's the same for this one, the same for this one, and then the back one is again the inch, score it in half, ink it up, glue it down. So that's simple. So I used all scraps. I didn't print anything new. This is all scraps. All of these were double-sided. So one of the very first videos where we made the center signature, or the center part of each signature, it was the candy cane stripe on one side and then the green and white stripe on the other. Cut off the excess, so there was that strip from each page. So I just used all of, well, not all of those. I used a few of those, and that's that. So I will, again, the next video will be a detailed walkthrough. So, and it also, I haven't inked it up yet either. I need to ink it up, but I may or may not do that. I don't know. I'm kind of running out of time. I think I might do a little additional thing to the cover. We'll see. So what I mean by scraps I've already cut up a lot, so I'm not going to be able to demonstrate too much. Right, so I've got all of these things. Oops, that one's empty. And then we've also got a lot of white paper scraps left over. So I'm going to show you what I did with the white paper scraps first. So I'm going to scoop this aside. So this is just a few bits and pieces of some of the, you know, we printed a lot of paper off for this album. And it's not a big album, so we didn't use a lot of it. So I'm going to show you some ideas to use a lot of this, unless you're going to make another album, which, you know, you can. Obviously, it's your paper scraps. So the first thing I want to show you is I used all of the white cardstock cut-off pieces from the album. And I use scratch paper all the time. And I make like grocery lists that I put a magnet on the back and I stick it to I stick it to my refrigerator so we can write down what we are out of. And that's exactly what I did here. So some, you can see these are scraps from when we cut the templates down. And I actually, this time I cut it, I cut it down to size and stacked them up, and I glued the top, and now I have a tear off notepad for my refrigerator. So it's just as simple as, this one's not, these are all different sizes, but I did try to make them the same width. It's not necessary. I've got notepads that are all different sizes, and I'm okay with that. And you'll see me use them sometimes. Like here's one I've got over here. Right, here's one from, I don't know, I probably made this a few months ago for something after using scraps. Here's one. So I keep them around because I scratch ideas and stuff down all the time. I've actually ripped all those off right now. So here's what you do. You just get a nice flat edge. You kind of find something that will clip them together reasonably even, like that. And then I'm just going to use white glue. You can use school glue, you can use tacky glue, you can use, well, I can't, I've drawn a blank. This is PVA glue here, but it's what I've got right here on my desk. I wouldn't suggest using anything like Fabri-Tac. I mean, it just wouldn't, it's too expensive to use for something like this, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You're just better off just getting some school glue. And you literally just run some glue, like spread it around like this with your finger. And depending on how thick your layer is, it would depend on how long it takes to dry. But you might have to do a coat or two, but in my case, this one is just one coat and it's holding just fine. I'm gonna leave this to dry. I'm gonna sit it over here. Actually, I'm gonna sit it in my garbage bowl to dry. I'm gonna just do it like this. So I'm gonna let that dry, and hopefully by the end of the video, I can show you that. We'll see. So idea number one is make yourself a notepad, which is something I do quite often with my leftover pieces. You can also make yourself some tags. You can also make yourself some inserts. You can do so many things with those leftover pieces of cardstock. You can make yourself labels. Anything you want. Sky's the limit. So I never throw those scraps away. I make them and give them to my husband. I make them and give them to my kids. Anytime I have scraps and I have an abundance, you know, I always make a notepad and I always give them to people because everybody needs notepads. Okay. The second idea is taking all of your large, like I didn't even use these in the album. So these were a full sheet. I didn't even use these. But what I did was I cut the edges off and I folded them in half and I made them into little cards. These will fit into, I guess I should find an A4 size. Is it A4? I don't know. That's not right. It's not A4. An envelope. La 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 la. I don't have one right here. Well, shoot. Anyways, I'm not going to go buy one, but you can make little cards, little note cards that you can give as gifts or attach them to your gifts. You can make an envelope, obviously, for these. So, one thing I will encourage you to do, don't take all of your full sheets or your scrap papers or any of that and just shove it in your Christmas stuff and think, I'll do that next year. You won't. Chances are you will be like, no, I'm not going to mess with that. Christmas season is too busy. So if you do yourself a favor, if you do future self a favor, you will have all these little note cards that will be ready to go come Christmas time. You can put them in envelopes or you can attach them to presents. Like this one is a fold down, right? That's the size of the paper that I had. So I just folded it in half, note card. These are little tall skinny ones. If this is too tall and skinny, you can cut them in half. And again, they could be little tags, little note cards, but they're ready to go. Right, so these were this size. I just cut the white edges off and good to go. Like there's even a number right there. It says 33. So I printed this. This was a printed page, right? So from the template. This one you can even see there's lines on it, but you can't see, like it's hidden. So use your scraps in this way as well. So I've got bigger ones, and then I've got smaller ones. So if you got smaller scraps, right? You could literally take this, punch a hole, grab your baker's twine. Sorry about the noise there. And right, you can just do it like that and tie it on your ribbon, and now you've got a to and a from, right? So easy. So I've got all these little ones for that. And what would be really nice, like these colors would be cool with like craft paper, wrapping paper, or gold wrapping paper. You know, just kind of like a plain wrapping paper. You add these to it and they will really, really, really pop. Okay, so little cards, little note cards. Perfect idea for leftover scraps. So when I'm done with all this, I'm going to end up just storing it in my Christmas wrapping stuff. Instead of buying more tags and cards next year for my presents, I will just reach for these, okay? And I just think it's going to make my life a lot simpler. Of course, you can jazz these up, put labels on them, all the things. You can make them super special. You can make them super plain. Either way, it's going to look nice at Christmas. So, idea number 2. Where did idea number 1 go? Oh, idea number 1 is the notepad. Done forgot. Okay. Idea number 3. I took all of my smaller scraps and made tags. Again, the same concept of gift giving, right? These, see, look, these are some of the scraps. So I just cut them down and punched a hole in them. So these are good gift tags, and they're cute, right? Most of these are double-sided. I said that, and then I guess one of these red and white ones was not. But, right? So fun, easy. Even these. Right? So you could write in marker, like in gold marker, to from. Easy gift ideas. I used some of the hole reinforcements on some of them. Like this was just a square, and I just notched with my corner chomper. You don't even need your corner chomper. You can just do it with your scissors. I need to get me a new, I'm sorry, Connie. I messed your paper punch up that you sent me, and now it just won't punch right. anyways, you can just cut the corner and now you've got a cute little gift tag that you can write with a gold, you know, like a gold marker, to from. So I use this, and then look, do y'all remember this where I did like a little experiment? Right? That's a cute little gift card, or little gift tag, right? So yeah, so then some of them I have folded like this, so just the same concept, but you know, I just use this piece. I did like a little experiment with that label paper that's matte and clear. You see how you cannot see the label, right? If I would have used the washi tape paper that we print on, you would be able to see the washi all the way around. So that clear label, matte label paper, I've got it linked in that Amazon list, is perfect. I mean, you cannot see that was a sticker that I stuck on there. So perfect. So then all the embellishments that I printed out, some of them are printed 2 to a page, some of them are printed 4 to a page. I cut them apart and you can make gift tags out of them, right? So I just went through, and if you do it now, you're more likely to use it. You could too go ahead and add string to each one, or you could just, you know, put your string in there with it. Either way, however you want to do it, it's up to you. So I just was showing you. Sometimes I just cut one corner, depending on the tag, because it would be cute just hanging there. And then sometimes I cut 2 corners and made tags. Some of these might be too large for tags, but it's just, I guess it just really depends on what you're doing. So yeah, I took all these embellishments that I didn't use in the album and just made gift tags. I did the same for some of these circle embellishments that we punched out, right? Put a string, have it hanging, and you can even put on that to from on the back. So that's a really good idea. So I did them to some of the small ones, some of the big ones. Okay, so you kind of get the idea. So I've just taken and created gift tags. I cut some into like, what's that called? Ticket shaped. These two were actually from when we made the shaker closure. This was the inside of that, so that's where I got the idea to make them into ticket shapes, because we'd already had like little circles there, so I just made it more uniform. These embellishments, you know, you could use these as gift tags. So yeah, some of these presents, I just poked a hole there. How cute is that? And these were printed, I think 9 to a page. Where's another one at? Oh no, I did not cut all these up. I don't know what I did with the other ones. That's okay. Anyway, you can just do that, right? Letters to Santa, right on the back, to from. Anyway, just super cute ideas, you guys. And an easy way to use some of the stuff you printed off for this album. If you did like I did. I like to have things printed off so I can look at them and flip through them while we're creating. You don't have to do that. I do that because it just makes it easier to film if I can look through things quickly. And you can even leave these in there with that if you wanted to use on your gift tags. These are the hole reinforcements that we foiled up from the beginning. So there's idea number 3. The last idea, which, okay, you guys, you're gonna have to give me a little bit of grace because this is not my forte. This is not something I do on the regular. This is not something I'm good at. But I made a Christmas card. And I don't normally I'm not a card maker, but I thought, since we've got all these embellishments and stuff, let's try making a few pre-made Christmas cards. Now these are a standard size. I guess I better go find an envelope. Let me be right back. Hold on. Okay, I went and grabbed a bunch of different sizes. So I couldn't find the exact envelope that I was looking for, but that's okay. I found one that was the same size. I have a whole stash of envelopes from years ago. You know, I'm one of those people who have a hard time getting rid of things because, you know, it's a practical thing, an envelope. I don't know. Why is it practical? I don't know, but it is. So I grabbed a handful of sizes. Now this size, and again, I'm not, excuse me, I'm not a card maker, so I don't know what size this is. But this is the size that this size card fits into. So this size card is taking, right? This size card is taking an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, cutting it in half and folding it in half. That's all this is. Cutting it in half, folding it in half, and I have more. So I cut 2 sheets up. So now I've got 4 card blanks, okay? So this was the one that I made. This was a piece that we fussy cut out. I was thinking I was going to use it on the cover. This was a scrap that I made into a tag. This was a scrap that I splattered, right? So my whole point of bringing all these different sizes out, I'm like, this size is different. You could take some of your scraps and make sure they fit inside what envelopes that you have, and that way you have little gift cards that you can put in presents, you can put in gift bags, all the things, right? So this is a cute size. Also, this one here, now I have had these forever. I got them at Hobby Lobby. I don't know if they still have them. They're just little square craft, but if you make some of your scraps into the size that will fit in here, you will again have ready-made little gift cards. So I didn't do that. I didn't think to grab those when I was prepping today, but anyways, so that's what I would suggest. I'm going to get 4 of these envelopes out. I don't think I'll make 4 cards today, but that's what I would suggest you do. You make the cards to fit your envelopes that you own, and then you store those with your Christmas cards or your Christmas crafts or your Christmas wrapping papers, whatever, what have you. Again, I'm not a card maker, so most of mine are gonna kind of, I wouldn't say juvenile looking, but like, I'm sure you wonderful card makers out there or be like, oh yeah, that's great, that looks great. Yeah, it's okay. Do you know how long it took me to bake this? It took me forever. But that's okay. I'm okay with it. You know what? My mother-in-law or my sister-in-law or my kids or my daughter, they won't care. They'll just look at it and be like, oh, cute. You know, it'll be fine. They'll appreciate the fact that I made it. Okay. So enough of that rambling. Let's make a card together. Okay, so this one, again, this was an embellishment I cut out. So here's the cover. I was thinking about using it instead of this one, but I made a card instead. So this is what I was going to say about the cover. I was thinking about adding white splatters on there. So you guys are going to have to let me know what you think. So I added white splatters, black splatters, gold splatters. Oh, I smudged. This is from the printable paper collection. I've got some diamond dots. I've got some sequence. There is a hole reinforcement and there's some baker's twine. Super cute. Oh, I've got it lifted up on some foam tape. I used up all that last roll that we were using. Just the things that, most of the things that we were using in this album, I just decided to make cards. Or I decided to use to make cards. Okay, so let's put some of this stuff aside. And let's see about making a card together. Now, it might be identical. I don't know. I'm not a good card maker. So I need a blank card. Start there. And here's some of my scraps. Okay, so let's use this as a perfect example. This was something I used very early on in the album. There's a video playlist for the album, by the way. I'll link it up here. I don't think I said that earlier. It'll take you step by step. And I printed this. Oh, if you're watching this, the person who commented about the printer settings, the printer settings were fine. When I did that video, when I was showing you how to use different settings in your printer, the printer settings were fine. It just looked off at the moment, but once everything was dry and a couple days went by, it looked exactly like the original. So the gamma was correct. I think it was 2.2. I think that's what the gamma was, and everything else was the same. Everything was the same. So I'm sorry I have not responded to that comment. Here you go. I've just responded. Okay, so when you print, mine does not print borderless, my printer. So if you take, I'm going to open this up. If you, oh, hang on. I just knocked my notepad over. Is it already dry? It's almost already dry. There's a little bit over here. So it's only been 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay. So if you take all the white edges off, for whatever size card that is, you card makers out there, I may not use that bottom. You tell me what that size is. I have a great respect for card makers. Okay, so normally I would take that bottom off, but I'm not going to use that part. But these make the perfect size mats for this card base. Okay, so you would cut that. So this is 4 1/4. No, this is 4. Wait. The card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So the mat needs to be 4 by 5 1/4. So first thing, I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4. Then I'm going to cut this down to 4. And I wonder if they're both 4. No, that one's a little bit wide. Did I just cut that the wrong size? I don't think I did. Let's cut this down to 4. Right, so now we have 2 mats for the card bases. Right, so I don't think I can get another one out of that unless I cover this up. Well, let's see. Let's do 5 1/4. Oh, look, I keep forgetting my measurements. By 4. 4. So maybe we can try to cover that up. Let's do that. Let's give ourselves that challenge. Okay, so there's one scrap. And then I did that to some others. There's a scrap of that. This was something I was going to mat a page with, and I changed my mind. But again, this can also be used if you cut it down. Let's see, this doesn't have a direction. Let's see, what's the measurement on this? So we've got 5 1/4. Well, let's make sure. Let's do a 5 1/4. Yeah, 5 1/4 by 4. So let's cut this down. And that's exactly what I did with these red ones. That was the same sheet because there's the same leftover piece. So now I've got more. And if you wanted to, you could, you know, mat the back of your card. Some people do that, some people don't. I might. I don't know. Why not, right? Or you can put it on the inside so that you can write, or you can temporarily attach it down to the inside so you can write, and then that person could take that out and reuse it. This one's double-sided, but I wasn't a fan of that page. I don't know why. I just wasn't the biggest fan of that particular page. But anyway, so we've got those. And then this, I had printed this off because I wanted to see how these solid colors would look with that sentiments page printed on top. And it looks amazing. So this can also be used. And I think what I'll do is I'm just going to cut it down, cut the whites off here, or cut that, and then let's see, I need it to be 5 1/4, and then I need it to be 4. So now we have 2 more. I know this seems kind of simple, but I just want to show you that you can still use all of those pieces that you printed out. Okay. So back to our cards. I'm going to set that aside. Whoa. You can even, I just knocked over my wax seal stuff. You can even put a wax seal on these. It just depends on whether or not you're going to be sending these through the mail or not. Okay, so let's make a card together. I already made this red one, so let's pick a green. Let's do the opposite. So should we said we were going to do that. Well, we'll see. There's my card base. I'm going to grab 3 different green options here, so that if I can't figure out something for this, we can move on. Okay. So I'm going to try to find. So we've got green, so I need red, right? I need some red stuff. And I don't know if these are going to be, you can do simple. You can do something as simple as putting a candy cane on there. You can do layers. You can do, I don't know what I want to do, to be honest. Maybe I should think about it before I do like that idea of a candy cane. Let me scoot those aside. I have all of these. This is what I was going to do on my card. I was going to wrap it around, but I stuck this down before. But that would have been cute, right? That would have been cute, little extra something, something. I have these. I did print these off additionally because I didn't print these off in the beginning. I don't know why. These would have been so cute in the album. And maybe I'll go back and add them. I don't know. This one says Merry Christmas. This one says Believe in Magic. This one says Peace on Earth. So I wonder what this would look like if I had this together. It might be too big. Or maybe I should see if I've got a bigger one, if I've got a bigger candy cane already printed. That'd be cool. Let me look. I'll be right back. Okay, I found, it didn't take that long. I found them. Oh, if you hear random noises, my husband is home today. So you might hear some things. I kind of sent him off to the basement so he'd be quiet because he's still working. But he's definitely not a soft talker. So, anywho's. So, look at, oh, we said we was going to try to, I can't, I don't know, can I use this? Oh. I don't think I can cover that all the way up. What could I do? What could I do? What could I, let me cut this out. So, I did find this, and in my stash, I'm going to fussy cut in my stash that I printed out already. know if I'll leave all these little splatters. So these, I think, were printed 4 to a page. And if you need to know how to do that, there's a video in the playlist, and I'll also link it up there if you want to see it. I think when you put the cards up there with the videos, I think it automatically like puts it in the video description somewhere. I mean, I still do, which I'm wondering if I need to do that. I may not get all those little tiny splatters. Okay. So I don't think this one's going to work. Let's do this. Let's see if this works. Or should I use this? Well, let's fussy cut this one out, and we'll do both and see which one we like better. So, well, let's do the Peace on Earth, since I've already did the Believe in Magic. So we're doing ourselves a little matching card set here, aren't we? Except only one's going to be red. Oh. That's a really cute. I like both of them. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to try to figure something else out for that. So I'm going to set that one aside for now. I mean, well, look at there. We could do something like that. Okay. Well, since this one's got writing on it, let's do it like this. Aha! Look at there. Wonderful. So, I do like that. I think that's a really cute idea. Wonder, can I make it smaller? Let's do some minor adjusting. I really like this, so if I make it smaller, I like that. Do you guys like that? Okay. I do. Okay, so this one, I think I will do this idea because I think it's cute. So let's do that. I'm going to take my crocodile and I'm just going to chop where those little screws, faux screws are. I'm going to trim this off just a little bit more. Yes. Okay, and then we'll get to splattering because of course we have to splatter. I wonder if I should do it a different way than I did the other thing. So kind of like this. And then have it wrap around like this. I'm going to move this card base out of the way. I don't know. I can't find anything else that I think would look cute with this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all these pieces away for a second. And we're going to do some splattering. Let me find a piece of anything. See if I can't be a little bit more controlled. So I'm going to splatter with my watercolor. And I'm going to... This is this splatter I used straight from this bottle, so it makes a really different kind of splatter, right? So this time I'm going to spray this onto this tray. And what this is, just in case you haven't seen, it's that watercolor, liquid watercolor. So I'm going to do that. Let's do that first. And I've already got some splatter. Some sparkle, some splatter sparkle. And I'm going to dry it. Okay, I got those dry. You can see they're a little wavy. This one was super wavy because it was really wet, and I just used my little travel iron to flatten it out, and it worked perfectly. But I don't think we're going to need that for these. So, what did we have here? We had, oh, I should probably glue this down. That's super cute. With my, oh, wrong side. With my Fabri-Tac. Or your tape runner, whatever. Even trim this off. That's even a cute little something. Okay, so then we've got I'm gonna trim. Is this the one? Yeah, no. Does this one go here? This one goes here. I was gonna say I'm gonna trim a little bit off, but I think this will work. Like that. Okay. I'm going to glue this down, but before I glue that down, I think I'm going to do some more splattering of some white. See, I'm not a card maker. It doesn't flow as easy for me and you would think it would, right? Because, you know, page designs and embellishments and things like that. I mean, I guess it could be in the middle, but okay. So the other splatters I'm going to do is white. So this is the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White, and you just take a little bit out and activate it with water. I do have a separate thing for that. Whoa. This is essentially a watercolor gouache, sort of, that colors don't bleed through. So I'm going to just wet it again. Where's my paper? Let me get my... So cute. I was thinking about doing this on the cover. We'll see. So this will then go there. I like it. Okay. Now let's tackle this one. I am going to glue this one down. I'm going to catty-wonk this one. I'm going to take, first I'm going to tape this down. Right here. I'm going to tape that just with a piece of tape. Then I'm going to take some foam tape and I'm going to pop this up like that. All right, that looks cute. Okay. I'm going to tape it along the back here. I'm going to cut that extra off. Sticky. Where's my base card? That looks so cute. So should we lift that up? Yes, we should. So we're going to take the same foam tape and I hate messing with these giant rolls. Going to go along the edge here. So cute. So if we add anything else to it, I can do that after the fact. So I'm going to take the tape backing off. And I'm going to put it on this card base. And I didn't get it center. But, right, even that is just adorable. And we could do more. We could add white splatters if we wanted to. Actually, I think what we'll do on this one is I'm going to take a black mark, only because I don't have any black paint out right now. I'm just going to take a black paint marker and kind of like add some like faux splatters, right? It's just a little. Can you even see them? I don't know. But it just adds a little something. A little something. So there's that. I'll add that to my list. I don't have that on my Amazon list, but it's just a little something. Okay. And we can also add the sequins and the diamond dots. I have them sitting right here. So that'll be like the last thing. So I'm going to set this one aside for the moment. I'm going to grab another card base. What did I do with them all? There they are. So this one, I'm going to stick this here. I do kind of like it in the middle. Or should I have it to the side? Or should I have it to this side? I like it in the middle. We're just going to stick it in the middle. And I'm just going to stick this one down flat. You don't always have to pop everything up. So, uh-oh. What happened to my glue? I know what happened to my glue. I didn't get it down in one of those little holes. That's what happened to my glue. In my holes in my glass jar. I don't know if you can see them. The holes that I made with the glue. Whoa. I got a little excited. That's cute. Okay. Now, let's see. Should we add? Yes, we should. So I'm going to add some of this sequence, I think. To the card. And then should I add any to this card? This one's relatively flat. So let's use the diamond dots for this one. So I have not glued them down yet. I'm just like testing them out here. I don't like it when they get upside down. They would stick if there was a little piece of glue there, a little bit of glue, but come on, let go. Let me scooch in so you can see. Is that better? And then here's the other card. Alright, let's do some finishing touches. Oh, I still need that. So I need to glue these things down. And this glue bottle puts an awful lot of glue down at one time. But I'm gonna try. Let me do this. I got another idea. Let me try something else. What if I put a little bit of glue on my plastic stamp thingy there, right? And then I take and get a dab on my dauber, I dab that, and then, oh, come on. Yes, that's better. Move that. Boom. Move that. Boom. Ooh, I almost did the wrong thing. Boom. 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 Nice. That worked out really good. All right, let's do the same. I need a bigger thingy-mabob there. Let go. Come on. The sequins are a little bit more difficult. Yes, that looks good. I like that. That is wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna let these dry, and I think that's all I'm gonna do to them. Oh no, I did do a little bit of marking with my gel pen on the words, and I basically just went and did the first letter, just put a little dot on the first letter of each word. Just for a little something. Just for a little sparkle. I just thought that was cute. Just a little extra. So I'm gonna let these dry. Oh, and we'll come back, we'll talk about the notepad. I'm gonna let these dry, I'm gonna clean up, and I'll be right back. Okay, I did go back and add a few little splatters on the cover. Let me show you. I don't want to mess something up just in case it's not dry. The little white splatters. I just thought it was too cute not to. It's just very, very... Ooh, you know what I should do too? No, just calm down. Just calm down. This one, I did go back and add a few little of the black dots with my marker. I thought that was really, really cute. Also, I was going to say I might do this to this, but, but I'm going to stop now. Okay. Let me back you back out. Okay. And you're good. Good grief. Okay, so these are the 3 cards that we ended up with, which I think look adorable. Well, this is the one I made before, but right? So that's a cute little set of Christmas cards. Let's go back to this little bit of notepad, and I am pretty sure this is dry. I did not add another layer, and it's all stuck. So notepads, check. And then of course all of the tags and note cards that we made with all of the leftover bits. So if you have any more ideas of what you could do with all of these scraps besides just tags and note cards and notepads, let me know. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think. So if you enjoyed this video, you guys, give me a thumbs up and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. And we've got one more video in this album series, and that will be a complete flip through of everything that I did in this album. So yeah, be sure to let me know your thoughts, and thanks so much for hanging out with me today, you guys. I will see you in the next one.